and welcome back to NLK. For anyone tuning in for the first time, my name is Elaina and it's so good and I'm so glad to have you here.
Hi.
So, last week we started out on an adventure. Now, do you remember? I had a massive backpack and it's here. It's huge, it just keeps going. It's bigger than me. I could fit quite a lot in this bag. Well, we are going on a massive adventure. And this massive adventure is all about this one special thing that Jesus told us about in the Bible. So here's my Bible.
Wow.
And in the Bible, starting from the very beginning, right up until when Jesus comes, the same thing is being told to us over and over again. Tell people about the goodness of God. Tell people about Jesus. Be, now here's our big word, evangelists. It's evangelism. Our adventure is an adventure of telling other people about Jesus, reaching our world. So last week, I got my bag, I got my stuff ready. Now, I figured I didn't need a hat or a coat this week because it's been a bit warmer.
This is the best day of my life, and quite possibly the last.
So instead, I've got some sunglasses with me, which is really cool. Oh, well, they're Abigail's sunglasses, they'll not be any good. So I've got some sunglasses, and they're Dan's sunglasses. How many sunglasses are there in this house? Now, this week, we've left the label on my sunglasses. Where's an adult when you need one? Did it. This week, our adventure has a new twist to it, okay? So last week, I was telling you what evangelism was all about and why it's important. It's all about telling people about Jesus so that they get a chance to know him. And it's important because it was a gift that was given to us that we're not meant to keep for ourselves, but instead we're meant to give to others. Before we set out, and before we really get our teeth into it, this is about us making sure that we have got good foundations. So yes, we need our backpack, we need our sunglasses or our hat or our coat, but what else might we need in order to go on this adventure? A map. We might need a map. See, we might get lost and we might not have signal for our iPhones or Android phones. Lots of phones are available. And so, we're gonna need a map. Wow, this is a big map. This is a map of Scunthorpe, of the place that we live. And it's pretty cool. And I don't know how to fold the map back up. Again, where's an adult when you need one? Okay, it's a bit stuck. Don't tell Dan, because it's his map and I might get into trouble.
Oh no.
Anyway, we need a map in order to know where we are going, in order to know how to get to where we're going. We might be able to do our map on our iPhones or on our Android phones or whatever. What if we run out of signal or we run out of battery or something happens to our phone and we drop it in the water on our adventure? We're going to need a good old-fashioned paper map that tells us exactly where we're going.
Are we there yet? No.
We've got our map and we have to look at our map and plot out where we are going. It helps us to make sure that we don't get lost. It helps us to make sure that we are following a good path. It helps us to make sure that we've got a good starting point to get us on our journey. When it comes to evangelism, a good starting point for us is to get involved. I hear you ask, what does that mean, Elaina? Well, it means this. We have a great church. We are part of New Life Church Scunthorpe. It's a great church. There are plenty of things we can get involved with which help us build up our evangelism muscles. Oh yes. You might be thinking, I don't need any help building up my evangelism muscles. Maybe you don't. But if you're anything like me, you probably do. And building up our evangelism muscles is a good thing because it means that when we go out and start telling people about Jesus, we've got some good foundations. We've got a good roadmap showing us the way to go. So there's a few different ways that you can get involved as a family or as an individual.
Now we're talking, yeah!
One way you can get involved in helping you build that foundation is jump into something at church. Why don't you get involved in one of our projects or one of our teams at church? Spend time with other people that love and know Jesus. Let them help you build up your evangelism muscles. Let them help you get strong and confident in what God is calling us to do. I don't know about you, but when I'm on my own, sometimes it's really tough. Sometimes I freak myself out and I go, I can't do this on my own.
'Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
But when we've spent time with other people and they've helped build us up, we have a bit more confidence. It'll be like this. Imagine if you decided to run a marathon. Yeah, I know, that's crazy. Who would run a marathon? Not me, that's for sure. But bear with me for a minute. Imagine you decided to run a marathon. A marathon's like 26.5 miles, I think. And if you've never run before, suddenly running 26.5 miles would be really tough. At least I would find it tough. I think I would get to like mile 1 and be a bit like, I think I want to go home and eat chocolate instead. Again, Cadbury, you want to sponsor me? Okay, no. If we decide that we want to do a marathon, there are a few things we have to do. We have to make sure we're prepared. We've got our bag, we've got our drinks and whatever, and we've got our map. We know what we're doing. We've got a plan. We have made a plan of how to prepare for our marathon. We have a plan of how to get on in our marathon. We have to build up our marathon muscles, our endurance, our energy, our breathing capacity. If that's what you have to do for a marathon,
Which is 26.5 miles, but might be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Maybe you do it a couple of times.
then how much more important is it to prepare for the biggest adventure of our lives? We need to make sure we are prepared. We've got a map to help us prepare. There are people in our lives and in our church that can help us build up our evangelism muscles, can help us build up our confidence. One of those ways is coming to NLK or listening to NLK on the screen. We'll help you, we'll teach you different things that you need in order to build up your evangelism muscle, in order to make sure you've got a good plan of action going forward. You might not always need a plan, it might sometimes just happen spur of the moment. If we've prepared ourselves ahead of talking to people, ahead of going out into our world, it helps us more. So you can watch NLK, or you can be part of church on a Sunday, you can get involved in a team or in a project that we do, or one of the extra events that we do, you know, like serving, helping other people, that sort of thing. You could do things as a family, you could volunteer as part of a family in church, you could, some of you already do this, you could sponsor a child from one of our projects like Compassion, where we can sponsor children. That's a good way of building up our evangelism muscles, because that's something that Jesus would do. Building up our evangelism muscles is doing the things Jesus would do. Surrounding ourselves with good people that love Jesus, who can help build us up and help motivate us and give us the encouragement we need.
Come on, fight this back! Fight this back!
Because sometimes on the journey we might have to come back to our map because things have maybe got a bit tough or we've taken a bit of a detour, sometimes we'll go out into our world and tell other people about Jesus, and it doesn't quite go the way that we planned. So we have to come back to our safe place and say to people, I need encouragement and I need your help. And that's what we're here for. That's why we are part of a community. We are part of a family. You don't have to do it alone. You are not a loner. You are part of a community.
We're all in this together.
We've got our bag, we've got our gear, and now we've got our map. So our big answer this week is this: get involved. I know it might be a little bit harder because we're kind of not still at church all the time, and well, at all really, but hopefully we'll be back together soon. But that doesn't mean you can't encourage other people. That doesn't mean that you can't write a letter to a friend or send an email to NLK or ask your mum or dad if you could maybe borrow their phone and give me a call and I'll give you some encouragement. I'm totally up for that. Or you could meet up with no more than 6 people at a time and spend time together, encouraging one another, telling each other that this is important and this is the greatest adventure we can go on. It's so great that even Jesus went on and on about it. Do good, love one another, tell people about God. They were kind of the most important things that Jesus said. And as he left his disciples and he went back to heaven, he left them with the parting gift of the Holy Spirit. Here you go. Here is someone that will help you stick to your plan. Get involved, talk to people, build one another up, and then go out into all the world and tell people about me, about Jesus. Don't go telling people about me. There's enough crazy in the world. We've got our plan. We've got our bag. We've got our sunnies. Make sure you've got the right pair, not like me with Abigail's sunglasses. But our big answer this week is this: get involved. So why don't you spend a couple of minutes with maybe your grown-up at home and talk about ways that you as a family can get involved. That you as a family can surround yourself with good people that will encourage you and build you up on your journey, on the greatest adventure you will ever go on. That sounds great to me. Have a great week, boys and girls. Sunglasses on. Let's hope the sunshine stays out for a bit longer. And remember, we're on the greatest adventure of all. Let's get involved.
Infinity!